Hello out there, everybody in video land. Hello, everybody out there in radio land. Are you tuning in? Are you getting me here? Are you getting me here? Somebody's going to yell, "Oh, you're starting a little bit early. A little bit early." Nah, well, what the heck? I mean, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether it's noon right on, a couple minutes after, which Gary Wilkins always tells me about, or a little bit before, which nobody ever complains about. So that's good. Here I am. On this manic Monday after a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Lots going on the weekend, lots going on this week, lots going on in the next month. I don't have a shortage of things to talk about. Let me put it that way. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from 4680Q in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. As usual, at noon, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at noon at Your City, Your Voice. Wednesday, it's Habsolutely. We talk about the Habs all show. So there you go. On Wednesdays, that's our special little Habs fans show around here. And I know there's a lot of them. I don't know about the Leaf fans. I saw what happened over in Florida, and boy, oh boy, them not winning a game sure didn't make it look good for them. I'm telling you. You let Florida find their legs, and you got a little bit of trouble. They're no bums, let me put it that way. But what are you going to do? It's played on the ice, not on paper. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so we have a beautiful, beautiful day out there. It's 70 degrees. It's going to probably go up to even more, 75. Summer's here. Events are many. We'll be talking about them. And I hope everybody got out to visit their mother on Mother's Day yesterday. Always a big day to go visit your mother. God willing, she's still here. A lot of people don't have their mother here. Well, I'm lucky I do. She's going to be 100 August 4th. And I did go to see her. She's at Millennium Trail Manor. So I did go to see her. She was in good spirits for Mother's Day. Played a couple games of cribbage. She plays cribbage. She knows how to beat me, that's for sure. And she did beat me. So, she's going to be 100 August 4th. So, I hope your mother's still around. If not, well, what are you going to do? We're all going to face that at some point in time, I guess. But my mother has longevity in her family. Her grandmother lived to 106. So she's got a goal. She's got a goal to aim for, I guess. And she may just make it. She doesn't have any major health problems. So we'll see. We have a couple of events that are coming up. We'll talk about them after I get to my sponsors. We're going to talk about the federal election, a little bit more analysis of it, especially in the Niagara area. We're going to talk about what's going on in a lot of different places around the world, in the South, in Canada. We'll get to it all. But first, my sponsors. Got to get to my sponsors. They sponsor the show. They're very good in the city. Small businesses is always good for a city. We want to see more of them, and we want to see them thriving, not just surviving. So let's give a plug to my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. Now, we look at the weather out here, and if you weren't sure before, you better be sure now. Summer's here. You want to get your car checked out. You want to make sure all systems are go. You don't want to be breaking down and waiting on the side of the road. You don't want to hop in your car for a trip up to Muskoka and your air conditioning's not working. You got to get those winter tires off. Everything's got to be right. You want to make sure it's safe. Those brakes have to be looked at. Even a brake service, maybe. Who knows what's got to be done? But I know somebody who knows. Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. He's going to give your car the once over for spring, no charge. Let you know what's wrong, fix what's wrong, show you what's wrong. You don't have to take his word for it. You can see it. He'll take you in the shop and see it, and then get them repaired. As well, they have a full body shop. So if you get in a wreck, take your car there. You'll bring it in, send it back to you in showroom condition. You can't beat it. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. Easy to find and easy to deal with. Ken's going to take care of you. Tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And please support our sponsors because they support the show and they support the city and events around the city. Now, as far as the video here goes, subscribe. Come on, we got about 128 subscribers. We want to get to 150 in the next few months if we can. Share it with your friends. Tell people about it. Hit it. Hit the notification button, that bell. You'll get a ding whenever I drop a show. Usually it's around 3 in the afternoon after I do a live show on 4680q.com. If you want to listen in, you just go to 4680q.com and listen in. But at the end of the day, let's get some people involved. We need more people involved, more comments. We want to get going. We've got an election coming up in October 2026 for the city council, and we don't want 27% turnout this time. We want to hit the bigger numbers than that. We got to hit the bigger numbers than that if you want fair representation. Don't let 27% of the people in Niagara Falls control what happens to you, because that's what happens. They voted these guys in. They represent the 27% that voted. The other 73%, you have no representation because your guys didn't get on. You didn't vote, so how could they get on? Now, that's what we're up against. So come on, let's subscribe. Let's get going. Let's give comments. Let's rally around it and have a great turnout for next election and get the best council that can be elected. Never mind DEI and all that crap. The best council that we have with the most qualified people. We don't want the best council money can buy. We want the best council that are qualified to do the job. You got my Doge shirt on today. Got to save money. Got to find money. We got to find efficiencies. These guys aren't doing it. There are people who will. Okay, so what do we got? Let's get into the events that we got going on. So we got the street dedication for Rick Rose coming up on June 7th, and that's going to happen Saturday, June 7th. That's going to happen at 6:30 at night on Queen Street, right in front of Taps. And surrounding that street dedication, we didn't just want to stand there and watch the sign go up in honor of our good friend Rick Rose. We used to own 4680Q until Pat Porter took it over. And of course, Rick Rose passed away. I think by this time, everybody in the city knows that. He passed away last July. We didn't just want to have a bunch of people standing around watching the sign go. We want to get an event around it. So in that regard, we're going to have music. The event's going to start around 4. We're going to have bands up there. I believe Chico Sanchez and Dylan Mars, Dealer's Choice, is going to be up there playing. Rob Repos is going to be up there playing. I believe Evan Rotella and Dave Rave are going to do a few songs. And we have other bands that are going to be coming in for the day to play some songs. So that's going to be a fun event. We're going to have giveaways all day, certificates to different businesses around town. And that with a big giveaway that 4680Q has donated a custom-made guitar for the day to be given away. And yeah, it's a custom-made Rick Rose special, it's called. It's going to be a phenomenal thing, one of a kind, so whoever wins it's going to be very lucky. If you want in on the giveaways, just make a little donation to the Rick Rose Music Foundation. That's why we're doing it. We're going to make money for the Rick Rose Music Foundation to help kids get into music and that kind of thing. So what a great weekend. Now the second event that 4680Q is sponsoring, and there may be more, I'll let you know, is the Ribstock Festival taking place at Fireman's Park on June 20th and 21st. That's right. They're going to have ribbers there, and they're going to have musical acts. They're going to have a carnival there. They're going to have other food trucks there. It's going to be a great weekend of entertainment. All free. You can get in there free. No problem. All sponsored by 4680Q. Come on out and enjoy the fun. More events sponsored by 4680Q will be announced as we move through the summer season. And I would say some of the podcasters or the DJs or whatever you want to call us will be there to hang out. What's this guy? Drove up on the sidewalk and then buzzed off. I got a bunch of weirdos around this place. But yeah, we'll probably be there. So come and meet your favorite DJ. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to be ducking, I think, when I get there. But I am gonna go. I'm gonna go for a little while, maybe Friday night, to see what's going on. Anyway, and then I can report back to all of you if it's good or it sucks or whatever. But it's going to be a good event. It's going to be a good event. Pat Porter's going to be the MC there, and it's going to be bands. So how can you go wrong with that? It's got to be a great event. Okay, some viewer comments from the Thursday show at Dino Pete. Carney said Canada is not for sale because Carney is going to give it to him. No charge. Well, I've been saying that a lot. Like, Canada's not for sale. Well, who wants to buy it? I never heard anybody saying they're going to buy it. Trump wants it, maybe. He wants to make us the 51st state or wants us to join in on them But I never heard anybody say they're going to buy it. Nobody's said we want to buy Canada. I mean, that old saying, "Not for sale," it makes me laugh. I should get a T-shirt on that with a big yuck yuck on it because this is a joke. I mean, Canada's in liquidation mode. We're broke. Canada's broke. Carney's being the banker. He was installed by the globalists to oversee the liquidation. Never say never are not just words that Trump said. He knows what's going on, and it's not good for Canada right now. Let me put it that way. So, Dino Pete, didn't see your name before, but thank you so much for commenting. I like it, and I like what you said there. Dino Pete, Pete's Pizza is crap. Okay. And this is the great thing about human beings, right? Everybody's got a different palate. Everybody's got a different taste. One man's junk is another man's gold. One man's bad pizza is another man's best pizza. So, that's a good thing. Everybody's got an opinion, and I love it. I mean, if that's what he thinks, that's it. But my thing is that before you just believe any statement like that, and whether you believe it's good or not, or bad or not, you should try it yourself. You might like it. I don't know. I just tell you about it every show, but some people won't like it. The people I've sent there seem to be okay with it. But if he says Pete's Pizza's crap, he might have had the one on Dorchester Road because that was crap. I gave it like a 6.2 or something, maybe even lower. It was terrible. But the one on Victoria Avenue was great. So I don't know if he's been there yet, but I say try it for yourself. We may not all agree. That's okay. We don't have to all agree on stuff, right? I wish Dino Pete would have said Pete's Pizza is crap, but this pizza is fantastic. I'd love to know what kind of pizza that Dino Pete loves. Please give us an indication of the kind of pizza that you like, or where your favorite places. And thank you for the comments, of course. I mean, we always do that. Much appreciated, and I hope you've subscribed and give us a thumbs up or down, whatever you think of the show. That's all we ask here. Your opinion's valid. Nobody's tastes are the same, and we certainly love your taste in shows. If you're watching all the time, we love your taste in shows, no matter what. At Penny Brookified, just my opinion. I don't think that anyone with a criminal record should hold an elected, paid position representing citizens in any level of government. If that were the rule, Strange would not be on council in the first place. A clean record is a condition of employment for my government job, and I'm not representing the public. I believe our representatives should be held to the highest standard. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. But I'm not sure that even comes into play when somebody's filling out a form to run for city council or any position. And then of course, I don't know what criminal charges have ever been filed against Mike Strange. I mean, in the paper, it said that he had been arrested for drunk driving and got his license suspended for a year. And that I would imagine that's the truth, or they wouldn't have printed it in the review. They're pretty good at what they print. If they print it, it's probably true. But is that a crime that you shouldn't be allowed to be a counselor for? Maybe. I don't know. Obviously, it isn't taken into account, but maybe it should be. I'm not sure. And then you have to watch what they're doing. Yet he hasn't been convicted of this one, so all it is alleged. So we can't hammer him on this one yet. But interesting comment, and I would say that should probably be part of any look at somebody who's running for office. I mean, you don't want criminals running the show, right? But having said that, there's a lot of criminals that are running the show that have just never been arrested. So who knows? At 881 Slick, yes, burying it the same day it was reported Tuesday. He should have made a public apology. And I agree with 881 Slick. He should have made a public apology, maybe. But here's the problem. I don't think that hitting the news is burying it. It's all over the front pages. Everybody heard about it. They really can't bury a news item that says he got charged with assaulting a woman and he's got a restraining order on him. As far as a public apology goes, that would be a huge problem, and I'm sure one that his lawyer would say, "Don't do it." And the reason is because as soon as you give a public apology for something that you claim you didn't do, you're guilty. Why is he issuing a public apology if he's not guilty? He's got to be guilty. So I doubt that he would do that. He says he's innocent, and of course, it's not cool that he kind of put it on the woman. He said that there's a vindictiveness to this charge, which means that she's just doing it because she's mad, not because I did anything, or that's the insinuation when you make a statement like that. That was a kind of a goofy statement too. It didn't seem like when you make a statement like that, you have a lot of remorse. I had a reason to do it, basically, and that's not cool neither. Because, like Gary said before, 881 Slick, he said before, like, what's it take to walk away? You get mad, you don't whack the person, you walk away. So there's that. So it's tough, but I mean, it's like these pardons in the United States to Biden and these guys. He gave a bunch of pardons to Fauci and all that, but as soon as they accept the pardon, they're accepting it, saying I'm guilty, so I need a pardon, so I don't get thrown in jail. Now they've never been charged with anything, and he gave them preemptive pardons. So once you accept that, you're saying I'm guilty, and I have this pardon, this get out of jail free card in my pocket. So I'm going to accept this, and that's that. So pretty weird stuff. Like I just don't see him giving a public apology. But like I said before, if I were going to advise him or I was in his shoes, and this is just my opinion, of course, it doesn't reflect the opinion of anybody else anywhere else in the world. That's just me. I would probably step down because there could be a lot of hard feelings, not only on council. You have 3 women, and you have all the women that are on staff in management positions that may not be so happy about one of their counselors assaulting a woman or being alleged and charged with assaulting a woman. And then the groups that come in there, um, I don't know what the heck they're all called, the violence, Birchway Niagara, maybe it's called, or Jillian's Place, all these other places that work to help women who are being under the threat of violence or have been violated by violence, domestic violence. I mean, they got to come into council. They always sit there and give big, long things about what they do and the great work they do. Council supports them without question. And you've got a guy sitting there charged with that. I mean, some of the women on council may even sit on the boards of these places. This is a tough one. It's a tough one. The honorable way out may be to just say, I'm stepping down and calling it a day until the next election and bringing up the next guy. That might be the honorable way to do it. Not that he's admitting he's guilty, but the distractions and everything about the case and everything that happened, that kind of thing, rather than saying, oh, well, I'm going to step down because I'm guilty. No, I'm stepping down to do what's right for the taxpayers and the citizens and not to cause any kind of strife, not to cause any kind of problems or conflict with anybody. So that's that. There's the comments. Thank you very much, everybody, for the comments. I appreciate it. Appreciate your opinion. And I guess time will tell. We'll see what happens between now and the next council meeting on May the 27th, I believe. I believe it's May 27th, the next council meeting. Talking about elections and that kind of thing, politicians. Funny thing about elections, small things mean big changes. I sat here talking with Chris Regas maybe about a week ago or just over a week ago about the change in the riding boundaries and what they would mean to this election. And everybody was worried about Baldinelli because he lost Fort Erie, which is conservative, basically. And now you had Niagara on the Lake versus Niagara Falls. And nobody really was totally confident about what was going to happen. So Niagara turned out the way it should. I mean, Tony Baldwin won by the same number of votes basically as he did in the last election 4 years ago. Excuse me. And that losing the Fort Erie riding really didn't affect him at all. Now, it did affect the Niagara South riding because the 10-year incumbent in Fort Erie, or Niagara South anyway, Vince Badaway, well, guess what? He lost. He lost to a conservative, Fred Davis. And that's the first time in a decade the conservatives have won Niagara South. So he benefited from the Niagara riding change. I'm moving Fort Erie to Niagara South from Niagara Falls. And with that Fort Erie part being blue, and a lot of former NDP and PPC votes went to the Conservatives. And right there, that spelled doom for Badaway. So there you go. Although it didn't change Niagara Falls, it sure changed Niagara South. And, was this a strategic move? Redrawing boundaries. We had Chris Regis explaining what a strategic move it was up in a Carleton, where PP lost his seat to a Liberal, and after holding it for 20 years because of changes. And now we see this Niagara South going Conservative from Liberal because of changes. So did somebody say, hey, Baldinelli's got Niagara Falls locked up, we don't have to worry about that, we'll leave that alone, but we're going to take Fort Erie off, give it to Niagara South so we can win Niagara South too? I don't know. I don't know if it was strategy or it just happened like that, but one thing we do know, it was changed. And the other thing we do know is that Badaway lost his position after holding it for a decade. Now, of course, another factor could have been turnout, 68.7%, which was the highest turnout in 30 years. And it could have been the perfect storm for Niagara South, but it didn't play out nationwide, as Carney is now PM of Canada, and he managed to grab another seat now. He's got 170 because they flipped over some seat from somewhere by just a minimal number of votes. So he's still pushing to flip a couple to get that majority. So I'm going to jump to the U.S. for a second and talk about the trade wars with China, but not until I talk about my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, the one that Pete there, he said, what was his name here? Oh, yeah, Dino Pete didn't like. Well, guess what? I get a pizza all the time from there, and it's consistent. They make a good pizza all the time. It suits me. I love the Mancini family recipe for sauce. I love the Mancini family recipe for crust. I love the way that Mike, who owns the Pizza on Victoria Avenue, blends the Saputo mozzarella with the brick. Gives you that nice blend, and he knows how to put the cheese on in the right ratio to the sauce. Very important. Cornmeal on the crust. Very important to me. Fresh ingredients. Very important to me. So everything about the pizza works. And here's the key, is consistency. When I get one, I know it's going to be good. And that's the one thing you don't get in a lot of places. Good one time, you go back expecting a winner, and you get a loser. And then you say, oh, man. And then you get another loser. And then you get a winner. Then you have to figure out who's cooking to order it. No. At Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, you don't have to worry about that. They're good all the time. And they're not a one-hit wonder. I mean, they have wings that are out of this world. They have steak and cheese poutine, regular poutine, panzerotti. They have a full menu, 3 pages long. You're not going to go hungry. You're going to find something there you like, even if by some chance, some fluke of nature, you don't like pizza. I don't know anybody who don't like pizza, but there probably is somebody out there, guaranteed. And you can't go wrong with Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. How do you get one of these beautiful pies? 905-374-2222 or go to petespizzavictoria.ca. and you're good to go. You got yourself a beautiful pie. You can pick it up, you can get it delivered by them, and they're pretty quick on delivery. I mean, my buddy got one. He said it was there in a half an hour, hot and fresh. I mean, just beautiful. So can't go wrong. Tony Nero, he'll vouch for it. And yeah, they got Skip and Dash and all those other ones. So if you want a good pizza, they're open till 2 in the morning, Friday and Saturday, till midnight during the week for your convenience. You can't go wrong. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, a real winner. And tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And don't forget to support our sponsors because they support the show. Okay, let's move over to the U.S. trade with China in these tariffs. Well, the trade representative Greer said the U.S. has reached a deal in its tariff wars with China. Way to go. And details should be announced today. We're saying today they should be announced. Now, Trump already declared a national emergency over the $1.2 trillion trade deficit with China and dropped tariffs on China that back up all goods produced in China. Docks and warehouses stood as full as the Chinese labor force was laid off and factories were closed. And this whole thing, this renegotiation is good news for Xi Jinping as millions of Chinese took to the streets threatening Xi's position as president of the People's Republic of China as they get laid off and they have no money and no food and nothing to help them. A lot went back to the farm because they had to eat. So this is all good now. Today they're supposed to negotiate it. And this morning I read that they've had a 90-day pause on tariffs. That's good. 90-day pause on tariffs. Everything will get back going again in 90 days. Then they'll figure it all out once and for all. But that's a good thing. There's a pause. It gets them a chance to get on their feet again, and we'll see where it goes from there. I don't know a lot about it. I just read about it before I left for the show. But I'll talk about it more tomorrow if I find anything more about it. Now, along with a possible China deal, the U.S. has struck a huge trade deal with the U.K., eliminating tariffs on a lot of goods. Steel and aluminum tariffs of 25% have been removed, reducing the trade barrier for these goods to zero, which will offer a reprieve to these businesses which weeks ago were on the verge of collapse. So they're gonna be doing good on that. Car tariffs on British cars fell to 10% from 27.5% for the first 100,000 vehicles. And that's the ones exported to the U.S., of course. The parts needed for those cars will also receive special trade treatment, which is good. Good. Now, agricultural products also receive relief. Both the U.S. and U.K.'s agricultural sectors will gain access to each other's markets under the deal. UK beef farmers will be given access to the U.S. market for the first time ever. British farmers have been given a tariff-free quote for 13,000 metric tons of beef. The UK will remove tariffs on 1.4 billion liters of ethanol used to produce beer, which comes from the U.S. So beef is going to be coming in, and so is ethanol to make beer. So the UK gets a great deal, and it's a great deal for both countries. What does Canada get from the Prime Minister's visit to the White House? Well, Carney got there, and he got Stugatz. That's what. Carney walked in with his elbows up with a cast of clowns Trudeau had, and Trump looked at like, what the hell is this? This is a new prime minister. He's bringing in these same clowns with him. This Mr. Rogers lookalike got embarrassed by Trump. That's what he got from his dopey elbows up attitude. With Trump just saying that being the 51st state would work well for Canada, Canadians would see a tremendously drop in their taxes, their income taxes, and give them the protection they don't have from the military. And Carney just looked like a sap saying, Canada will never be the 51st state. And of course, Trump saying, never say never. Well, I can tell you this there, Mr. President. There's things that are never going to be for sale, like Buckingham Palace or the White House. He goes, well, I've done a lot of deals in my life, Mr. Carney. And what I found is that you never say never. So Trump was continued to give it to him and then told him that we don't need anything from Canada and we don't need nothing that you guys have. We have it all here. We don't need it. And so, yeah, you got to come up with a deal or we're going to put tariffs on everything. And Carney kind of left there. He never accomplished anything. At least the UK guy, he got the Prime Minister of UK, at least he got something done here. They made a deal. But what do we get from our Prime Minister? Stugotz. That's it. Now, Carney still has to pick his cabinet, and this should be good. Dominic LeBlanc, his point person on trade, said that the president is coming to the G7 summit in Kananaskis, Alberta. Kananaskis. Kananaskis. That's what it's called. I'm not making this up. Kananaskis. It's in Alberta anyway, in the middle of June, and he hopes to make some progress on trade before them. Trump heads to the Middle East later this week, and when he returns, LeBlanc says talks will intensify. That's right. I mean, that wouldn't take much after Carney's visit to intensify. He'll be able to sit down and map out a plan that will lift some of the tariffs. And who will be at the table? Well, we'll find out tomorrow when Carney sets his new cabinet, allegedly picked to be able to deal with the tariff threat. Now, this should be good. This should be good because the conservative interim leader, Andrew Scheer, said he will put partisanship aside and give Carney the votes needed to deal with Trump. And of course, the Libs are still 2 seats away from a majority, so he needs support. Pundits say that a lot of the cabinet faces may be the same, but given different responsibilities in his cabinet. But one thing is certain, and Carney has said this many times, it's going to be all DEI hires around the table. Not the best and most qualified people to sit around the table, the ones that will fill in his diversity, equity, inclusion goals. God help Canada. We need the best of the best. I don't care if they're green, red, black, white, transgender, gay, straight. I don't care. I want the best of the best, the most qualified to deal with people, not the people you have to put in slots because of their sex or religious persuasion or anything else or race. We don't get it in Canada. We don't get it. We're going to get some half-assed cabinet here. And we need the best of the best. Another interesting comment that Trump said, or Carney said when he was meeting with Trump for his little tete-a-tete, was that he had consulted with Canada's owners. Do you remember him saying that? And Canada is not at sale for any price. Well, interesting choice of words, because who are Canada's owners? Well, you'd think it would be us, the taxpayers. We own Canada, right? It's our, we pay the taxes. We control the country. I don't know if that's what Carney was talking about. I don't think he gives two hoots about the people. I think he cares about big business. He's a capitalist. He's a banker. I don't think he cares about the people. People should have nothing to say if you listen to him. So who are the owners of Canada? Well, 10 families seem to own Canada. Now, is this who he was talking about? Here they are. The McCain family, you know them from Frozen Foods. The Katz family, I'm not sure what they do. The Finneneff family. The Richardson family. The Saputo family, we know they make cheese and everything. The Rogers family, telecommunications. The Pattison family, signs and advertising, that kind of thing. The Irving family, oil. and the Weston family grocery and goods. So that's who the Big Ten are. And the last one, last but not least, the Thompson family. So you've got 10. I think Thompson is newspapers, aren't they? Well, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize. But they're the families that own almost everything in Canada. The owners, I think this list missed some other people. And one of them would be some of the Chinese families because, hey, they own a lot of property in Canada. They own a lot in Canada. They've been let to come in and buy everything. So there are some Chinese families. I don't know who they are, the big ones, but I'm sure that these 10 are having to compete with some of the Chinese investors that are coming into this country. They seem to be all over the place. But yeah, so you think he was talking about the taxpayers as the owners of Canada? Or do you think he was alluding to these families, these big, powerful families that run the show? Matter of opinion, but he never said who they were. He just said that he consulted with the owners of Canada. Was he talking about the election? They voted for him. That's why that was his consultation. I don't know. I don't know. You see, somebody asked him that question. I would ask him that question. Hey, who are the owners of Canada? Give us the lowdown. So if you haven't had enough of these left-wing liberal bozos, well, you have the big bozo coming over across the pond, King Mickey Big Ears, coming over to deliver the speech from the throne. Oh, who the hell invited this guy over? Of course, we know who. The Bank of England governor, Art Carney. That's right. He invited him over. And you know what? Here, here, yeah. All in our taxpayer dollars. Millions are going to be spent on this clown. So, he's going to give a speech from the throne costing us tens of millions of dollars for security and everything else, putting him up for nothing, flying him over. This guy he's up there, lechers, these people. They're mooches. They're the royal mooches. Now, he's going to give a speech to open Canada's new parliament session on May 27th. And this is a very, very unusual move. And I don't know what it means, but somebody will have to tell me exactly what it means because it's aimed to send a message to America, somebody said, that Canada is not for sale, cementing the fact that the British monarchy still own Canada. They can't sell it until they consult with the monarchy who still own it. It's some kind of a power move. Carney may be the leader, but the country remains a British Commonwealth. And King Charles III here, I think he's the third, King Charles III, is the official head of state. This rare command performance, more to do with Carney being the governor of the Bank of England than the PM of Canada. The first time it's going to be the first time a monarch has opened a new parliament session since 1857, 10 years before Confederation. Ever since Confederation, we told them to stay home. And now I know why they call it Confederation. It's a con job. Confederation. Phony. Con. We're being conned. There's no Confederation. And, I can see Trump down in Washington or Mar-a-Lago, the southern White House, sitting there shaking in his boots because King Charles is coming up here. I can see it, right? I can see it. Elbows up. Elbows up. King Charles is in town. Don't mess around. Didn't they kick England's ass one time already? Maybe a couple times. I mean, what? Trump says he likes King Charles. Well, yeah, because they bow down to Trump, right? The Queen did, he did. But he said he likes them and good for him and blah, blah, blah. And he has no problems with any of it. We have a big problem. We have another 4 years of these dummies. Hopefully it's or less. 4 years or less. Hopefully it's or less. I'm done with these guys. What's he been in power? Like a week? 2 weeks already done with him. I've had it with Carney and his flying circus. Norton Art Carney, real comedian, real comedian. But anyway, that's what's going to happen. King Charles is coming over. He's going to give the speech from the throne, reclaiming his Commonwealth, Canada, and probably it's about time for him to get a check too for about 10 million or so from Canada. We still pay them, you know. Oh yeah, we still pay the British monarchy for Canada being a Commonwealth country. I don't know what we pay them anymore, but I doubt if it's in the hundreds of thousands. It's probably in the millions, tens of millions, maybe. Got to keep them going. They're the pets. Got to feed them and water them and put them out and do the old, come on, boy, sit, shake hands, shake a paw, roll over, roll over, roll, you know, the royal pets. Over to PP, Pierre Poilievre. Fresh off his defeat in the federal election, well, his campaign is being scrutinized by people saying that he ran a pretty bad campaign. He failed to take advantage of social media platforms that propelled Trump to victory in the US. And what he's talking about is podcasts. Guys like Joe Rogan invited him on. He declined. And, you know, Joe Rogan is the king of podcasts. I mean, this guy, he revs it up, man. Number one podcast in the world, 14.5 million followers on Spotify, 16.4 million subscribers on YouTube, and 18.9 million on Instagram. And of course, there's many of them are Canadians. I'm subscribed, of course, because I get to see what Joe Rogan has to say about everything. And the interview he did with Trump was holy man. Barron Trump told his father, Dad, you got to get on Joe Rogan. You got to go on these other guys, Nets or Nebs or whatever they're called. And he went on all of these podcasts, talked to everybody, even the ones who hated him. He went on and straightened them out. But I mean, PP seemed to dismiss these, as did other candidates in this election. Um, they dismissed these opportunities to get their message out. And we're talking like millions of people. Like in Canada, JJ McCullough, he's a self-described conservative coded YouTuber with almost 1 million subscribers wanted him on. He asked Carney, Singh, and PP to come on for interviews, and they all rejected him. 1 million people, Canadians watching, and they rejected that number of people, just dismissing these podcasts. Now I can understand you don't want to come on mine. I got 128 followers, and some on Rumble and some on X. They're all on X and Rumble now. But still, I mean, I can understand why 128 Paul, you know. Although Tony would have came on anyway, he's a great guy. But at the end of the day, well, he's been on the show a couple times, as a matter of fact. But at the end of the day, I mean, to just throw away 1 million people watching, and Rogan, I mean, with Trump on, I don't know how many millions. He was up in the tens and twenties of millions, huge. And I mean, a lot of the social media that Trump did, podcasts and that, they probably, affected the election, the final results. And on the other hand, Harris wouldn't go on any of them because she couldn't answer any questions. She went on the ones that were friendly to her, and even they got on her, and she couldn't answer the questions. She was stumbling around. So she didn't want to do any of them. And look what happened. But Trump has really opened the door to alternative media, right? Even in the White House briefings, now he's allowing in guys like Gary Franchi and some of these other news organizations that Biden wouldn't let in. I mean, Biden let in ABC, MSNBC, NBC, CNN, all those characters, but he wouldn't let in the independents, the podcast guys, and now Trump is, and they're all there. And he's actually banned some of them. ABC, who were their welcome a long time ago, he just said, "No, you're not coming in. Everything's negative from you guys. You're not worth having in this meeting. You're done. We don't want you here." And he threw them out. And I mean, these podcasters, although they interviewed Trump and everything and were fair, they're not always all in on Trump. Right now, Joe Rogan, Dave Portnoy, and Ben Shapiro are all beginning to question Trump's tariffs and their effect not only on the U.S. but on the world. So they're looking and saying, "Hey, hold it for a minute. We kind of gave this guy a blank sheet to work with, and we're backing him, and now we're seeing that some of these things he's doing, they have to question." And and yeah, they're gonna be in the middle. They're not gonna be on his side. If they don't like what he's doing, they're gonna say it. That's the way they are. So that's a good thing. Not like the left wing where Biden can't even basically function, and they're saying he's A1 number one. He's got it all together. He knows what he's doing. He didn't. It was all a lie. It was all a lie. They've all been discredited for that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future with this thing. But PP probably missed a great opportunity if he was invited on these shows and he didn't go. He should have learned from the Trump election. These guys are the guys now. They're the ones. The mainstream media is done. These guys are the guys that are making the difference in these elections now. But we'll see what happens. We might have another election in a year and a half, and if we do, we'll see if PP changes his tack a little bit, and goes another direction with some of the media, especially the mainstream media. Getting rid of them, they're useless. Okay, and I'm not talking about local guys. Don't get mad at me, please. Don't get mad at me. I'm not talking about the John Laws and Ray Spateris and that kind of thing, right? I'm not talking about those guys. They perform a service in Niagara Falls, keeping all of us informed about what's going on at city council and local news. I'm talking about the big boys. I'm talking about the big boys. They're the ones who skew things and push the COVID vaccine to everybody, making them afraid to even go out without getting a vaccine. They're going to die, which was all a bunch of baloney. We know that now. So brainwashing is very easy. Fool most of the people most of the time. That's the rule, right? And they do, but people are waking up. People are waking up. Trump's dropping all this DEI stuff. He's waking people up. They're waking up to the reality of the world, and whether they like it, what Trump's doing or not, what he's doing is things that should have been done and weren't. They're closing the border and getting their house in order. Doge, getting their house in order, stopping wasteful spending, getting rid of taxes, the contracting government, getting rid of waste and fraud in the government. These are good things. And anybody that argues against doing that, I don't understand it, because he's doing it for the taxpayers. It's going to help you out. It's going to help you out. Why are you arguing something that's going to help you out? Lower your taxes, get rid of waste and fraud. Who doesn't want to do that? But there are people talking against it. Okay, let's go over to Pakistan and India. But before we get over there, let's talk about my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. Every city needs a good machine shop conglomerate in the city. They need machine shops to help them with their needs. When something breaks down, time is money. They don't have time to get a new part flown in from Germany. It's expensive and they got to wait. Here, you take it to a machine shop and they take care of your problem. They're going to fix whatever's broken. If they can't fix it, they're going to reverse engineer it for you, give you a brand new part engineered by them. And a lot of times when they re-engineer stuff, they look and see, how can we make this better for the industry? And they make it better. They make it better. That's what Hamel Machine Shops have been doing in Niagara Falls since 1948 for big industries, the wine industry, rich products, you name it. They make agricultural products that they ship around the world. But they're still local, and they've been here since 1948, and they'll help the little guy shear a pin on your lawnmower, break an axle, break something. They're the guys who can fix it for you. They have 3D printers to print new parts. They have the engineers, the IPT people, the graphic guys to be able to design it and make it work. They also have water jet cutters to cut out whatever you need. It's a fully modern shop dealing with people around the world, but still in Niagara Falls to help the citizens here if they need it. Doesn't get much better than that. Hamel Machine Company, hamelmachine.ca is their website. Go there. Take my advice. Just take a second and go there and see the things that they do. It'll blow your mind. When I looked, I said, I can't believe this. I got to go out for a tour in the shop. I want to see all these newfangled equipment they have. Hamel Machine Company, support them because they're a sponsor. They support the show. They support the city. And at the end of the day, we need machine shops for our industry. It attracts industry to an area. Thank you very much for supporting our sponsors. We appreciate it very, very much. We appreciate you as listeners. Oh, look at all these motorcycles are up today. Okay, so over to Pakistan, India. Well, Pakistan's not sitting still and taking all the bombing. Yeah, India's lobbed a couple of bombs. So what did Pakistan do? They're on the offensive, launching ballistic missiles at India in retaliation for India's incursions into Pakistan. And the big area here is the Kashmir region, right? The Kashmir region has been battled over for centuries by these guys. And that's somebody administrates it. The other ones say they own it. Big battle over Kashmir. But basically, Pakistan launched retaliation strikes at India, and they say they targeted military sites inside India in response to an Indian missile attack at 3 Pakistani air bases in the Punjab. India said most of the missiles were intercepted and there were no casualties or damage, but the war is escalating and fast. The U.S. is not impressed. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio continued to urge both parties to find a way to de-escalate the conflict and offered U.S. assistance to do it. He wants U.S. to help them in constructive talks to get a ceasefire. Now, India stated any more attacks on India will be considered an act of war. So right away, any more attacks, and we've considered that you have declared war on Pakistan or on India, and we're going to be responding accordingly. Pakistan has used the high-speed missiles on India, and I wonder where they got them from. I mean, the Iranians have them, and China probably has them, and the Russians have them. We know that. Essentially, they're at war. They both have nuclear weapons. We got to hope that the U.S. can somehow stop these clowns from lobbing a couple of nukes. I mean, it could get real bad real fast over there, right? These people are, I don't know, they like war. They're always fighting. Pakistan gets a lot of weapons from China, but they also have a domestic defense industry, which includes Al-Khalid tanks, small arms, armored vehicles, and the JF-17 Thunder fighter jet, which was co-developed with China. Pakistan also possesses a nuclear arsenal, which is composed of short-range and medium-range ballistic missiles with enough range to hit parts of India. Yeah, so they can lob them and hit them. China has provided technological support for their nuclear program. Now, India uses Russian weapons, but also turns to the US, France, and Israel, becoming major suppliers for them. They're also moving to increase their domestic defense production so as not to have to depend on foreign imports. So they're increasing so they don't depend on foreign imports. These two countries are on the brink of war. Any misstep could result in an all-out conflict at this point. Now, news as of Saturday was that Pakistan had agreed to a ceasefire. India hammered Pakistan, and they threw in the white towel, allegedly. So the war appeared over, but now both sides have accused the other of breaking the peace agreement that helped come about with the aid of the U.S. diplomats. I mean, like they just get it kind of something going on. Then all of a sudden, it's like Hamas. Yeah, yeah, we're going to have a ceasefire. And what do? They throw a couple bombs at Israel and away we go. They broke it. I mean, they've been fighting since after World War II. The Pakistanis and the Indians over the Kashmir region, and they both claim it as their own. I mean, they had some kind of a peace deal going, but both sides claim that the other has broken the peace deal. So here we go again. Here we go again. They're starting up again. They're starting up again. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? These people love to fight. They love to start wars. They just don't stop. They just don't stop. It's like Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis. They're the other ones. They just they until you beat the hell out of them bad, to the point where they can't do it anymore, like Israel's doing to the Hamas and everything, then they're going to keep fighting. They're just crazy, and they got support from these countries behind them, like the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas has Iran. And then you got China over there getting supported by Pakistan, and Russia supporting them, and the United States. It's crazy. Best thing be to cut them all off. Cut them all off with support of weapons and everything and say, go at it. But we're not helping you. We'll see what happens. Every time I go home, I look at what's going on, and it's changing. It's like a wind blows and it changes. It's crazy. Back to the U.S. before we go, because there's lots going on there. There's a lot of people, judges and people being indicted and being arrested because they're supporting these terrorist groups from other countries that Trump wants to deport. It's getting pretty wild over there. And, karma is a biatch. Remember that disgraced AG, Attorney General Letitia James? Yeah, the one that charged Trump with falsifying his property values to get loans, which was the most bogus of all charges. I mean, real estate investors, they go to the banks, they tell the banks what their properties are worth. Do you think banks just take their word for it and say, "Oh, okay, here's a couple $100 million or $1 billion"? No, they have appraisers. They go look at the property. They figure out what the right amount of a loan is, and they dole out the money according to credit rating, past history, and the value of the properties that they value them at. So why Trump was charged with doing this, I don't know. It's the bank's fault. They're the ones who gave him the money. And on the other side of that coin, Trump paid him back. The banks are happy. Every dime was paid back to these banks. There's nothing to charge him with. Nothing at all to charge him with, yet here we are. So now, guess what? What goes around comes around. She pushed for like a $500 million fine for Trump in felony counts, which got reduced to like 354 million, and then 100 million or something. And then I don't know, maybe all charges are going to be dropped anyway. I mean, it was all fake. Well, what goes around comes around. Now she is charged with mortgage fraud of her own on a bunch of buildings she owns. The exact same charge as Trump faced from her. Wow. You talk about karma coming right back to bite you in the butt. Of course, Trump's appealing his ruling. It's yet to be settled. A rep from New York is calling for a $300 million fine for Letitia James, just like Trump got. How sweet is that? Hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah. So what goes around comes around. She deserves it. She ran her campaign as attorney general on the platform she was going to get Trump. So she was after him. I mean, how she got elected on that platform, I have no idea, but she did. So she got what she's got coming. Now, the FBI is investigating her on the very same charges, so it couldn't happen to a nicer person. Letitia James, way to go. Way to go. Well played, you big dummy. Now you're going to pay. Now you're going to pay because they got all the goods on you. And the same with Shifty Schiff and the same with Fauci. These guys are all going. The same with these judges who are letting these gang members go, Trent Agua and MS-13. They're hiding them. They're letting them go, aiding and abetting. They're going to jail. Same with the guy who firebombed the Tesla dealership, 20 years in jail. No more fooling around. Pam Bondi has it under control. Kash Patel has it under control, and they're going after these guys. You may not see the big guys yet because they have a lot of power. They have the ability to hire the best lawyers. They have the ability to fight it. So before they're going to drop anything on those guys, they're going to have all their I's dotted, all their T's crossed. But it's coming. It's coming. Believe me, it's coming. Hang tight. It's coming. I know my cousin now, he says, oh, they got to arrest them. You know, what the hell are they doing? It's not that easy. You got to wait. You got to be patient. It's going to happen. They're guilty. They just got to prove it because these guys aren't going to roll over. They're not just going to say, oh, I'm guilty. Although we know they are. They got preemptive pardons from Biden. Why would they get that if they're not guilty? But alleging they're guilty and assuming they're guilty because they took the pardon isn't proving they're guilty. So that's what we got to wait for. We just got to wait for the proof to be there and they can hand these down. And finally, guys like Fauci, a criminal around the world, crimes against humanity, he's going to jail. And it isn't going to be pretty. It's going to be Guantanamo. All these guys, General Milley going to military court, going to Guantanamo. They're all going to be together. And we're going to be happy. We're going to be happy. They're going to get them. Okay, so we're getting on 1 o'clock. That's about it for today. I gotta get down to Taps. I got a meeting there for 1:30, so I gotta go there, talk about this Rick Rose street dedication event. Pat Porter and I are going down there to talk to them, get it all settled up. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's Trash Talking Tuesday. We'll be in talking about more of this stuff. And of course, anything that I see. And Wednesday's absolutely. Thursday is Straight Talk Thursday. Who knows? Maybe I get somebody in. Maybe I don't. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go to the dentist in the morning. I don't like going to the dentist. I go early at 8 o'clock. I want to get in there and get out of there. I don't be waiting around all day with these guys. They can make an appointment for you. And you sit there for 3 hours. First thing in the morning, there's nobody there. You're the first one who walks in the door. I get all my appointments early. I know it's early, but I'm up at 5. 4 or 5 every morning, so it don't matter to me. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate you viewing it. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you listening on 4680Q. Of course, I'm Paul K. Lemire. This is your city, your voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q. Go to 4680Q.com every day at noon to tune in, or catch the video on YouTube, Rumble, and X. At around 3 o'clock, the videos usually drop. If you hit the notification, you'll get a dingy-dong on your phone, and it'll tell you when I drop a video. Even better, you don't have to remember. You hit the ding, and then you can just go right and watch it. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. God bless you all. Enjoy this weather. It's so beautiful out. I'm going to go to that meeting, then I'm going home, and I'm going to water my new plants and everything and get everything ready because we're getting into the weather that we love now. We've been waiting for. It's here. It's here. Enjoy the day. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but it's here. Take care. Ciao, ciao, everyone. If I